The cheetah is one of the best adapted felines to the African Savannah plains, and its greatest asset is its speed as a bullet thanks to its completely aerodynamic body. It prepares its attack extremely well, tracking its prey with its eyes, and when it believes the moment is perfect, it launches into a lightning-fast run in which its heart pumps an incredible 5 liters of blood per minute. It doesn't waste an ounce of energy. Its top speed is about 100 kilometers per hour, but it can only maintain that speed for 500 meters. It hits the first time, or there are no second chances. Its neighbors are well armed, run like hell, and have sharp horns. Others are like armored tanks, experts at delivering deadly kicks weighing 5 tons, and some with very bad tempers. A wild world full of difficulty for hunting, where only the young are within reach, as they eventually stray from the herd. The most cunning and ferocious scavengers are always nearby, and the powerful king of the jungle is a dangerous enemy. When his brutal hunts are unsuccessful, he turns to stealing from others or killing other people's babies, something that the big cats that live alongside the cheetah usually do. They learn through play, and live animals captured by their mothers serve to awaken the bloodthirsty instinct of this fantastic climber. Trees provide a safe hiding place for prey and an excellent vantage point for the battlefield. His future is very fragile, despite his unsurpassed abilities. He's a cornered hunter, a perfect creature, a prodigy of nature. He's the fastest land animal in the world and the most endangered feline in Africa, a big cat that weighs no more than 50 kilos. Slim, aerodynamic, and perfectly designed for speed, the cheetah can accelerate from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in just 3 seconds, faster than most sports cars. Its body is a masterpiece, a flexible spine, large nostrils, powerful lungs, and a tail that acts as a rudder at full speed. But that burst of energy only lasts a few seconds. Every chase is a risk. Winning means eating. Losing could cost you your life. Its build is admirable. Very long limbs, powerful muscles, not a gram of useless fat, and a super flexible spine. Spectacular anatomy that allows it to run 30 meters per second at its top speed. Its tail, approximately half the size of its body, acts as a rudder, a tool that helps it steer through sharp turns and changes of direction. He's built for running, has enormous lung capacity, and his heart pumps immense amounts of blood. He's a 4-legged Ferrari. He either succeeds or fails. He always plays it by one card, and after a victorious race, he'll end up exhausted. He'll need to rest for about 15 minutes after capturing his victim. The threat is unstoppable. The peaceful feline becomes a hungry executioner. It's a wild hunt. It has been a tremendous effort. And until it fully recovers from so much energy expenditure, it won't be able to eat the small gazelle it has killed. The cheetah is the only feline with semi-retractable claws, as they cannot fully grasp them. It has a magnificent grip for climbing trees and unsurpassed ground grip when chasing across the savannah. In addition to speed and an athletic body, Visual acuity is another of this gifted animal's incredible qualities. It can see its victims from more than 4 kilometers away. They patiently scan the horizon before choosing the most suitable prey, always small game. This animal is wary of invaders in its territory, and its aggressiveness is obvious. Cheetahs are too small to fight with large animals. The black lines on their faces are a unique identifying mark. They make them appear more ferocious and also absorb light, preventing glare and reflections that cloud vision. Cheetahs hunt during times of greatest light intensity. These lines act similarly to the black lines painted under the eyes of rugby players during a midday match. There are zebras and gazelles in sight, and perhaps a young one will stray from a protective herd. The moment of action arrives. The attack must be launched. He must take a chance by surprise. He hasn't eaten for several days, and hunger is weakening him. His hunting technique is to lie in wait, camouflage in the undergrowth like an invisible ghost, but the alarm has gone off. Everyone has detected the approach of the terrible enemy, the fastest animal that walks the earth. The chase is contagious. The chase has very little time. It can't last more than half a minute. Its internal temperature will rise to over 40 degrees Celsius, and if it runs at its limit for more than 60 seconds, it could cause brain damage. It will happen again. Today, the prey will be large and very clever. It's difficult being a cheetah. Its existence is full of challenges. Although new litters and hope, the good news for a species considered vulnerable, the greyhound, as some call it, has a grim future because only a third of the cubs born each season survive. Barely a rustle in the grasslands. An impala gazelle feeds, oblivious to the danger. The cheetah crouches, judges the distance, and runs. Each stride covers more than 7 meters. The ground trembles. The air cuts his face. But time is running out. After 30 seconds, his body overheats. He must reach his prey or stop. Today, luck is on his side. A sure leap, a precise bite. Mothers take care of their young and keep them away from lions, leopards, or hyenas. The cubs remain with the family for up to 4 weeks. At a year and a half, if they're still alive, they become independent and begin their solitary lives. The feeding feast takes place at midday when the big cats are sleeping. They eat in secret. They will never fight to defend their food. They have weak jaws and short teeth, and they will always be at a disadvantage if a stronger, larger opportunist approaches to take a simple piece of meat. Will cheetahs survive? Their small size makes them inferior, and they can't compete with more powerful predators. Scavengers steal their food and kill their cubs. They have weak immune systems, and their habitat is deteriorating due to human predation. At the moment, everything seems against them. Extinction is near. A new day begins, and the same scene repeats itself. Large herbivores walking along thin dirt highways worn by the repeated passage of thousands of animals. They are the pilgrims of Savannah in search of food and water. In this hostile territory full of wild beasts ready to eat you at the slightest carelessness, only those who fly escape, such as a fairy lion eagle, which, accustomed to surviving in the steppe plains, is part of the great aerial ecosystem of Africa, inhabited by more than 2,600 species of birds. All birds, large or small, are safe from ground predators as long as they remain in the air. But when they perch or seek refuge in savanna vegetation, they are in danger. Here in this wild land, it is not good to relax. Even if you're lucky enough to have wings that allow you to fly away in the blink of an eye. And don't let your guard down for a second, because sometimes both leopards and cheetahs hunt birds to satisfy their hunger. Both cats move with extraordinary agility through the trees, and their spotted fur provides perfect camouflage to avoid detection. Since there are few hiding places, most ruminants are insecure, and they travel in herds for protection or in mixed groups of different species. They have highly developed eyesight and sense of smell, although they have a regrettable Achilles heel. To eat, they have to lower their heads and cannot see their surroundings. However, if they form a herd, the chances of survival are greater. Even if one animal looks at the ground, others keep watch and warn the group with snort or running alarm signal, and predators will have difficulty identifying prey running haphazardly through a mass of bodies. Some are untouchable due to their size and bulk, but in general, almost all herbivores have enemies willing to hunt them, especially when they are eating. Eating takes up a lot of time and lends itself to relaxation. Plant eaters digest slowly. Some have 4 stomachs. They must ingest large quantities of grass, leaves from trees or shrubs, and they dedicate nearly 3/4 of their daily activity to this task, chewing an average of 200 kilos of vegetation. Meeting the nutritional needs of so many animals is a major challenge, and migrations in search of sustenance are a constant ordeal. Africa is highly vulnerable to climate change, with droughts intensifying and global temperatures are likely to rise by 4 degrees Celsius in about 60 years, reducing annual rainfall by up to 30%, and increasing the number of arid lands by 8%. Which are detrimental to the brown bear. Their prey will become increasingly dispersed, and their hunting territory will no longer be limited to the usual 3 square kilometers. And another problem more common to all species, stored water. Finding it is a huge challenge in a land where seasonal lagoons are like oases in an immense steppe paradise. Without water, nothing is possible, And when you're lucky enough to locate a pond, everyone celebrates with enormous satisfaction. It's the elephant's big celebration. They live in blood-related packs and their respective offspring. The leader is the oldest female, who directs and identifies where food and water are available. Males belong to the group until adolescence, then remain solitary or join other males. This matriarchy is one of the longest-lasting alliances in the animal world. Their union lasts a lifetime, and families are only separated by the death of one of its members. Their trunk contains about 100,000 different muscles. It's a flexible arm with countless functions: breathing, making sounds, grasping things, and drinking up to 200 liters of water a day. They require a lot of information through it. But elephants have another fascinating sensory faculty. They are in constant contact thanks to underground infrasound, which they perceive in the soles of their feet. They warn each other of danger by tapping the ground, identify earthquake vibrations, and detect waterways many kilometers away. And the big question, are elephants intelligent? It seems they are. They solve problems and modify their behavior when faced with new challenges. They have an impressive memory, even remembering a person's face for years. They experience emotions like humans do. They express feelings of grief over the death of a fellow elephant and act with empathy when faced with a sad or sick companion. They are the largest living terrestrial mammals. Due to their corpulence and family cohesion, they are inaccessible to the sufferer of the savannah, the cheetah, which will never approach the group of elephants, not even in low light, something that perhaps would make it go unnoticed. It is true that the cheetah is mainly active during the day, but recent studies reveal that it also hunts at night depending on the amount of moonlight. Elephants have one of the largest brains in the terrestrial animal kingdom. They are capable of problem solving, tool using, and planning behaviors. They have excellent memories, which is why it is said that an elephant never forgets. Another frequent visitor to the water holes is the giraffe. Although unlike elephants, they only need to drink occasionally. Most of their liquid comes from the juicy leaves they eat. They can subsist on about 10 liters of water a week, but quenching their thirst is when they are most vulnerable. So they take turns drinking, some drinking while others keep watch from their privileged 2-meter-high watchtower, which gives them an unobstructed view of the horizon. The neck is also used as a sexual weapon in so-called neck fights, where males conquer females in heat. Giraffes don't have strong social ties. Herds change. Only mother-child groups persist. As long as the mother provides protection, the offspring will be safe from fearsome neighbors like hyenas, which, in addition to being notorious scavengers, hunt wildebeest and antelope. The real danger is this. A lioness, the queen of the stalking world, has a tough time this time because hunting alone without forming attack groups is a mistake, and it's an even bigger mistake to face giraffes alone, which, when threatened, run away at 60 kilometers per hour thanks to their nearly 2-meter-long legs. The hungry lioness begins to gallop without losing sight of them, but she will soon realize that they are unreachable. Even if she exceeds her speed and runs at 80 kilometers per hour, it is reckless to face alone these giants who could hit her with their front paws and break every bone in her body. Being fast has its advantages, and in this case, the reward is saving your life. The rules of a wild game filled with powerful pursuers. Cheetah males typically move in pairs. They are often brothers and form what is known as coalitions, thus making their hunts more effective. Not only do they have the largest hearts of all felines, their nostrils are also very wide to facilitate greater oxygenation during their exhausting runs. They get restless because they're hungry, but they never rush. Lions, for example, waste a lot of energy and run without thinking twice. The cheetah always waits to be safe, and this patience pays off with a 60% effectiveness rate compared to the lion's 25%. Although their fits of rage may seem imposing, they are calm animals. They do not complicate their lives in useless battles, and it is not cowardice. They are aware of their inferiority to larger scavengers who often steal their food. They are small cats cornered by hunger, competition, or dwindling habitats. Cornered because the cheetah has lost 90% of its total population in the last century. It was a difficult race, but cheetahs analyze the terrain, the distance, and the behavior of their prey before approaching it. They never waste energy. They are masters of self-control and a marvel of natural intelligence. The secretary bird doesn't need to waste so much energy. It returns to the same nest every year, always hunting on the ground. And for the stumps, it primarily captures reptiles, which it whacks with its long, sharp-clawed feet. The chicks leave the nest at 3 months old and, as adults, are 5 feet tall and can walk up to 30 kilometers a day to feed. The scorching African sun sets and night falls, shadows emerge and calm reigns. It is the terrifying period of silence, the hour of the nocturnal hunters. Only the movements of the largest are observed, but hidden away are other large ones, the hidden watchers who dare do anything regardless of size, which is why the young are always close to their mothers. Dark, suspicious eyes can often be seen shining like small flashlights, spying on those gathered at water holes, waiting for the possible moment of attack. Often, They are simply explorers who are also thirsty and come to drink. At night, predators acting alone have very little chance of capturing prey. Hyenas and lions are social hunters who work as a small, coordinated army, each soldier serving a specific purpose. This allows them to confront and bring down very large animals like elephants and giraffes, something cheetahs are unable to do. Lions are most active at night, although they also hunt during the day. Even if they're just slaking their thirst and just passing through, they're clearly enemies, capable of killing at any moment those who stray or stray from a herd. They always cause general distrust, and panic spreads quickly when they're nearby. It's very difficult to surprise a giraffe because it sleeps a couple of hours a day in periods of approximately 10 minutes. Rhinoceroses spend more time sleeping, up to 8 hours a day, occasionally under the shade of trees, a luxury made possible by the fact they have no natural adversaries. No one dares to attack them even at night. They use their feet and horns to find roots, uproot bushes, or search for water. But their horns also serve as a means of friendly contact between females and as a weapon in territorial disputes. Animals in conflict always repeat the same gestures, pushing each other and rubbing their horns together without much impact until one surrenders. When the conflict ends, the dominant male proclaims his supremacy with a spray of urine, while the subordinate male peacefully withdraws. Like the cheetah, rhinos are endangered due to poaching. In 2014, a record-breaking year, 1,215 rhinos were slaughtered for their horns, which, according to legend, have medicinal and aphrodisiac properties. All false and without scientific basis. Today, they have only one enemy: extermination, which kills more than 3 rhinos a day. The leopard is another small savanna cat, although more robust than the cheetah, which weighs about 80 kilos. Like the other 3 big cats of the panther genus, the lion, the tiger, and the jaguar, it has a modified neck bone that allows it to roar, something the cheetah cannot. It only emits a sound similar to birds chirping, a purr, or grapevine. It is solitary and aggressive, and can even confront a lion if necessary to defend its territory. They are often confused with cheetahs because of their spots, which differ in size and shape, but in both cases they serve as camouflage. Each individual has a unique spotted pattern. No 2 animals are alike, and these spots are used for identification purposes when conducting population censuses. It's also a fast sprinter and primarily a nocturnal hunter. So during the day, it spends its time resting and exploring. It's also not affected by the risk of extinction, as it's one of the famous Big Five, one of Africa's most dangerous animals, and also one of the top hunting trophies. The cheetah's favorite location is in the trees. Here, it hides its prey so it won't be stolen by scavengers, and it can better see everything that's happening 4,000 meters away. It measures approximately 1.5 meters from head to end of a muscular tail that is about 80 centimeters long. Its legs are notable for their length and strength, and its claws do not retract completely, making it easier to grip any surface. The neck is connected to the spine by a highly elastic ligament to ensure optical stability and allow the dog to quickly turn its head without losing sight of its target during high-speed chases. Furthermore, this perfect machine of nature regulates its body temperature through sweat glands in its paws, dilated blood vessels in its face and ears, and a thermoregulatory process similar to panting in dogs. To defend itself from attacks by snakes and monkeys, its main predators, the masked weaver must use its wits and build a hanging nest at the edge of tree branches. The nest builders are males, easily recognizable by their yellow coloring and the black mask on their faces, which becomes more intense during the breeding season. For this spectacular work of art, they use a braid of various plant fibers, and when the nest is finished, they offer it to the females, who check its consistency and approve it before pairing up. They will then be responsible for making it more comfortable by adding blades of soft grass and feathers. Nest construction is a meticulous task. Using plant fibers, leaves, stems, and flexible grasses, the males weave a spherical structure with downward-facing tubular entrance. This entrance makes it difficult for intruders to access and protects the interior from rain. Construction can take 1 to 3 days, depending on the male's experience and the availability of materials. Once finished, the male hangs near the nest and performs a kind of dance to attract a female. If she is satisfied with the quality of the nest, its strength, location, and structure, she accepts it and a pair is formed. Otherwise, she rejects it, and the male may dismantle it and try again. As we already know, after a fast race, the cheetah has to rest and recover. The enormous energy expenditure and the suffocating heat given that it usually hunts at midday to avoid the competition that other predators have exhausted. But once recovered, will quickly go to the place where the shot prey is and will share the small hidden trophy with the family group, because the savannah is full of thieves willing to eat everything that is abandoned on the ground. And one of those wild bandits is a jackal, a small canine weighing only 10 kilos that, acting in a pack, is capable of cornering the cheetah and forcing it to flee in order to steal a piece of meat. But in this case, its interest lies elsewhere, a juicy piece, a rotten elephant, a victim of poaching or of a pack of lions that have already made short work of it. Jackals prefer a hunt on their own, but they never reject the law of least effort. When the opportunity arises, they will take advantage of carcasses, as long as the carrion queens, the hyenas, allow it, keeping intruders at bay and any attempt to approach the gigantic loot left behind. They are considered cowardly animals that only live off the dead, and nothing could be further from the truth. Although they eat carrion, they are excellent hunters, live in family groups, and can spend hours chasing prey before surrounding and killing it thanks to their powerful bite among mammals. Their teeth can break any bone, as if it were a nutshell. They are undoubtedly the best cleaners of Savannah, and therefore constitute a vital sanitary element for African ecosystems. For cheetahs, hunting is a vital task that requires a great deal of effort and luck. They are not always successful, but feeding their young is a priority for survival of a species hemmed in by countless difficulties. The goal is to eat as quickly as possible in case a scavenger approaches. They flee when provoked and do not return to the place where they left the food. A cheetah never fights because it relies on its physical fitness, and if injured, the entire family would starve to death. Furthermore, only 3 out of 10 cubs survive past the age of 3 months, and their deaths won't be solely due to hunger. The threat is very close to them, neighbors who wouldn't hesitate to kidnap and eat them. But luckily, at this time of day, they always rest in the shade because the temperature hovers around 50 degrees Celsius, and they never hunt at midday. This family group of lions during the siesta period, and in the central point of their domain, is what is called the pride area. The pride is usually composed of 1 or 2 males and 3 or 4 females with their cubs. Lionesses are primarily responsible for hunting, and males protect their vast territory, which can exceed 200 square kilometers. These long, routine walks are very important. An intruder could cause a fierce fight and end with the death of one of the combatants. But in this case, the reason for the walk is different. Like cheetahs, lions are polygamous. The mating period can last several days, and it is not uncommon to see lions copulating more than 150 times in 48 hours. Lionesses in the pride synchronize their reproductive bonds to give birth on the same days and allow the cubs to suckle from different females. This ensures survival, but it doesn't prevent a problem. Females are not receptive again until their cubs are grown or die, and males may kill the cubs to mate again. The gestation period lasts about 110 days, and females typically give birth to 2 to 4 pups in a secluded area, temporarily away from the group. After a few weeks, they return with the pups to reintegrate them into the pack, where they begin to socialize and learn the rules of the group. Sometimes a lioness dares to hunt alone, starting at close range with an acceleration of 60 kilometers per hour, a powerful embrace, an inevitable bite to the neck, and the final death by strangulation. There was a time not so long ago when it could be said that this was an inexhaustible wild paradise, and today Africa is slowly languishing because all the players in the food chain are rapidly declining. Small and large are cornered. Rhinoceroses, elephants, leopards, and lions, like cheetahs, are in decline, and their extinction is all too close. Illegal hunting is not the only threat. Habitat reduction is the main problem. Wildlife requires a large distribution area, and the increase in agriculture or grazing damages their feeding grounds and limits the number of prey. In the last 20 years, lions have declined by 50%, and there's a risk that they will disappear in about 15 years or even less. Learning begins with fun, and what better toy than this slow-moving armored rover from the African Savannah with feline surname, the leopard tortoise. And it's the second largest species of tortoise in Africa. The color of its shell serves as camouflage to go unnoticed and avoid attacks from enemies like lions. But today it's about to get a big scare, although the peaceful tortoise won't be harmed. It will only be a fun pastime for the little cheetahs, who will have to go through several stages until they are able to fend for themselves. At 6 weeks old, they leave the burrow, take their first steps, and follow their mother camouflage in the dry grass. At 2 months, they're already more active, and at 6, they chase each other, some acting as prey and others as hunters. At 10 months, they begin their true hunting lessons by watching their mother hunt, to the point where she brings them small live prey to finish off, awakening their hunting instinct. At about a year and a half, they reach full development and sexual maturity. At about a year and a half, they reach full development and sexual maturity. Shortly after, their mother will go into heat, and the vigorous youngsters will begin to make a living on their own. Despite being widespread throughout the world, they are native to Africa. They are the famous guinea fowl or guinea fowl, unmistakable birds with their grayish plumage flecked with white speckles, blue neck, red markings on the face, and a prominent bony protuberance on the head. Although they are omnivorous, they prefer to be near wet areas to catch worms, snails, or insect larvae. They spend almost all their time on the ground, sometimes traveling 10 kilometers in a single day to search for seeds or plants. Since most gallinaceous birds are poor flyers, they use their wings to escape in case of threat and to move at night to the trees where they sleep. They are social animals and form flocks that can number more than 1,000 individuals. Males have very bad tempers and often fight, sometimes resulting in serious injuries caused by the robust beaks of these aggressive birds. At a time when the movement of different species is hampered by human-made barriers, scientists have discovered that zebras, not wildebeest, as had long been believed, are carrying out the largest known land migration in Africa. Some 200,000 zebras have been observed traveling more than 500 kilometers between Namibia and Botswana in search of grazing land and water. Scientists now want to determine whether this great migratory odyssey is passed down from parents to offspring and whether it is a fixed route. But there's another mystery. Cheetahs cannot change the spots in their fur, but some zebras do have changes in their stripes. This is a mystery that has led to belief that stripes served as camouflage, to confuse predators and to help them recognize each other. According to new hypotheses, those that live in warmer places have more stripes to defend themselves against disease-carrying insects and to stay cooler. Zebras with more stripes appear to have a temperature of about 3 degrees cooler. Pushing and shoving for the best position in the pond is common, and challenges are also pursued by biting each other's necks and legs or kicking each other. This is very dangerous because one can end up seriously injured and become easy prey for predators. They say the dream of those who are awake is hope, and this is the only option. To stay awake, always on guard, and dream that there is still hope for the truest image of speed, effort, and patience. Their world is full of difficulties. They have to travel ever more kilometers to find something to eat because men pick berries or put up barbed wire fences that make the hunting ground smaller and drive away their prey. It's a big cat corner. Mothers are responsible for teaching their cubs everything, and they must always be protected in safe places. If they are seen too much or get distracted, scavengers can attack and kill them. And the same thing happens with food. They must hunt and eat when it is hottest and when most predators are asleep. Since they always avoid fights, they are faster than other felines, but weaker to fight with them, although they are more successful than, for example, lions. In 1 year, they capture 5 times more prey than the king of the jungle. They have disappeared from more than 20 countries and are on the verge of extinction in Asia, where there are only about 100 specimens. A century ago, there were 100,000, and today, there are only about 10,000 left in Africa. Fortunately, there are breeding farms where they can be raised and kept for a while until they're strong enough to overcome the dangers of wildlife.